we're going live now. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. And in our last video that we talked was about the hostility faced by the LGBT community in India and the kind of treatment meted out to them, various myths surrounding their existence, and mixing up religion with sexual orientation. The LGBT community has been a subject of prejudice and contempt since long. They are excommunicated, persecuted by the society on a regular basis. And as if that were not enough, the Supreme Court has actually recently left them branded as criminals, leading to their further blackmailing and exploitation. So, in our last discussion, we could not get anybody to talk about this issue from the LGBT community. And this time, one of our friend, very good friend, has agreed to talk us through some part of his life leading as gay. And it would be only fair if we hear from him his own experiences, the kind of social anxiety he has undergone all these days. The purpose of this video is basically to sensitize people to this issue and make them tolerant. India has had a history of a very tolerant country, and hopefully that prevails. So now let me introduce you to my gay friend. He's Mayank, name not changed. He's an IT professional working in Bangalore. Thank you very much for talking to us, Mayank. We cannot show your face because you are still, your parents are still to know about this. A thing to ponder for our viewers, what kind of society which actually we have created, we are not able to show somebody's face. Then we have two more members on the panel who are not gay, at least that is what I know. Avijit is joining us from Cork, Ireland. Then we have Krishna, who is joining us from Graz in Austria, and I myself from Lübeck, Germany. So now I would like to go to Avijit, and I request him to ask his first question, whatever he has, to Mayank.
Yeah, thank you, Prashant, for the nice introduction.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask Mayank, like last time we had this whole discussion, and we all agreed that we need to struck down 377.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask Mayank's point of view, what he feels, why is it necessary to struck down 377? What difference will it bring in his life? Like, even if it is struck down, his parents or relatives, I don't think their thinking would change just by changing a law. So what difference will it make in his life?
Okay, now Mayank, I would like you to respond to this question as why is it so important for 377 to be struck down?
According to me, 377 is wrong in every sense. It takes away our basic rights as a human to be with somebody whom we want to be with. What we do in our bedrooms, it is our personal business. It does not affect anyone, and even Supreme Court should not have any rights to put an obligation on our private lives. By doing this, Supreme Court has just brought us shame. It is wrong in every sense. About the thing which he asked, whether parents and relatives, they are anyways not going to accept us. See, things like coming out, it works out in steps. First, we are trying to get our rights legally. If we have these rights legally, if we have legal approval on something, we can work on about going further and educating people. As of now, we are marked as criminals, because of which we are unable to even proceed with things like educating people, bringing visibility to public. So it is like wrong in every sense. It is wrong for our community.
Okay. Also to add to that point of blackmailing, because that also leads to blackmailing of gay people or anybody from the LGBT community, because now it's illegal anyway. and you guys can be further subjected to exploitation by blackmailing. Okay, so fine, Mayank, then I really want to thank you once again for taking out this time of yours and talking about it. I think it will be a great lesson, and for other heterosexuals, they should be learning from this video, basically. Can you talk us through or take us through your side of the story from the time when you realized that you were a gay, and so far, I mean, what kind of problems, if you have encountered in your life, what kind of social anxiety you have undergone through so far in your life? Can you take us through that?
Okay. From beginning, at somewhat level, I always knew that I'm different. I have these feelings towards men. I always liked men from the very beginning, since my childhood, if I think about.
Like what age? Can you specify age?
I cannot exactly tell you the age or exact
Okay.
time when I remember I liked men, but it was like since forever, since my childhood, since maybe I was even 5. I remember that I liked men. But knowing my feelings, understanding them, coming to term to myself, it happened over a period of time.
Yeah.
As it is not something that can happen overnight. All the changes in body, mind, emotions, feelings, which we get, it usually starts when we hit puberty, when we are in teenage and adolescence. Uh, for a boy who's 13, it is usually very difficult, at least in India, to understand what he's feeling, how he's feeling, and why are those changes happening to him.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we 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 don't get these things from school or our parents. Usually, we learn about sexuality, everything related to it through our surroundings, from friends, cousins of same age group, or nowadays even internet.
So
For
you say that you learned it through the internet, or and talking to different people.
uh, yes, for me it happened. Internet was like my best friend at that time. It is the only thing which gave me hope. It is the thing which helped me to understand my feelings, giving a name to my feelings, some name, because I was like lost. I didn't know what is happening to me, why is it happening to me. This was the only source through which I could understand my feelings.
Okay. And have you
Uh,
been ever
and
subjected to? Yeah, please go on, carry on.
about the things that you said, what all things that has happened during that time. So I would like to point out this thing that all straight guys usually when they're in their +2, they they start chasing girls. They start asking them out, roaming around with their girlfriends, and then they expect you to be with some girl. If you're not with some girl, they start calling you names.
Mm-hmm.
Chakka hai jara.
Have you been ever called by that? Those.
Well, I directly मुझे मेरे classmates gay बोलते थे in my
Okay.
+2.
Okay. So there were people who
Though
called.
it is not considered now. If someone calls me gay, I won't feel, because it is true
Yeah.
and it is not something offensive. But in that time when I was in +2,
I understand.
it was obviously offensive.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a tender age. You know, yeah, I know that can have a large impact on your entire career after that. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
So during that time, it sort of becomes a foundation for you to have a girlfriend, or at least ask a girl out, because of all that peer pressure. Even
Okay.
I almost asked a girl out during that time when I was learning about my own feelings. That was in 11th standard, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but somehow, luckily, that girl said no, and we even had a fight after that. So I I got saved somehow. Uh,
Okay. Okay. Any bad instance not necessarily has to be, but when you think that people were not so nice, the heterosexuals were not so nice treating you when you came out as a gay.
uh, there were few incidents, like I told you, in during my plus two, my classmates, they were not whole of my classmates, but a group of people who used to call me gay when I used to even enter my classroom.
Okay, so
It
okay,
was
these things
some.
like generally these things happen, when somebody is a bit more effeminate, and these are the terms that are generally called. Avijit, you were mentioning sometime what are they called in Maharashtra?
Yeah, in Mumbai they're called good. They in local
Hmm.
Mumbai language they call them good.
Okay, so this is how basically we subject our own people.
Yeah, we have created a stereotype, I guess.
Okay, okay. Mayank, do you have something more to tell? Or
There was one more incident which happened during my plus two. It happened in my coaching classes when my teacher was late. He didn't arrive in time, and we were filling up forms for IIT JEE.
okay.
For IIT JEE forms, they had this thing for guys. We had to pay $600 to buy that form, and for girls it was $300.
Mm-hmm.
Then there came this guy from a group. He came with a group, but he was the only one who was speaking.
Yeah.
He told me, Mayank, सुना है IIT JEE के फॉर्म्स 600 में मिल रहे हैं लड़कों के लिए, लड़कियों के लिए 300 में मिल रहे हैं.
Mm.
तेरे लिए क्या रेट्स हैं? तुझे
Mm.
क्या 450 में मिल रहे हैं?
Okay, yeah.
And
I can see the
like
mentality.
I was like unable to even do anything. It was a whole bunch of guys. I was alone at that time.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So this is the black side of our society, the dark side of our society. Okay, now I think Krishna has joined us again, and can I go to Krishna Nambiar to ask his question to Mayank now?
Yep, sure.
Yeah, go ahead, Krishna.
So, I mean, like any other child, you would have had a happy and peaceful childhood, and then this phase came when you started realizing that you're you're slightly different from the majority of kids. So, did this thought, ever crossed your mind that it's something unnatural? And I mean, was it difficult for you to justify this to yourself? Because getting accepted in the society is important, but getting accepting yourself the way you are by yourself also is important.
Okay. So self-questioning, was there some kind of self-questioning, Mayank?
It was obviously there. That is why I seek help of internet. But the thought of it being unnatural, it never really
Came
came
into you.
across. I never thought it can be unnatural. Something which is coming to me naturally, which I'm feeling since my childhood. How can it be unnatural? That was the thing. So I never felt it to be unnatural.
So it's unnatural for all those
Uh,
who don't really can connect with it.
Maybe
Yeah. Okay. Do you have something more to tell about that, or should we move ahead?
we can move ahead.
Okay. Now, just to sneak in between, I have a question. Mayank, so see, as I see that you have not told this to your parents, so you are still living a life of a straight guy in front of those and your parents, your relatives, and some of your friends as well. So how difficult is it to live a life of a straight guy when you're not a straight guy?
It's like living in dilemma. You don't know. You have to full time be conscious about your behavior. You cannot behave in a certain way in front of those people. You cannot speak certain words in front of those people. Though
Like what kind
now,
of words?
because I have been doing this since like my since forever I am doing it, so I'm used to it. It comes out naturally that I know in front of these people I'm not supposed to act in certain way, so I won't do it. But
Okay.
still, it is like I'm living dual life. I'm living life of two people who are different. In front of one set of people, I am different. In front of other people, people whom I'm out to, people who know about me, I am living life of my actual own.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you
So
feel
it's
frustrated
very
at
difficult.
times?
It is
Abhijit has asked, don't you feel frustrated?
sometime.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Man, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I wanted to know, don't you feel frustrated sometimes because you have to lead a dual life like this?
Not just me, it
Stressed
happens
out, you
to
know.
everyone
Yeah,
from who is from the community who's living this dual life. It happens to everyone. Few friends of mine, sometimes they even tell me that they are so badly frustrated that they feel like shouting it out even in front of their parents,
no.
to scream out loud that
And
yes, I'm gay, I am like this, I am what I am,
and
and
also
I
I could
really do
imagine
not
that there,
care.
sorry to interrupt you, but I would just on that extremities, there would be also people who might also be thinking of ending their lives.
There are a lot of people like that. I have a friend who's in depression right now. He's even seeking a psychiatric help.
Mm-hmm.
He became suicidal a few months ago. Though there were other people, there were other friends of other mutual common friends of ours
Mm-hmm.
who helped him. When I told it to them, they went to his place. They took him to doctor, and now he's quite in better place. But it becomes it. I have seen it by myself
And
for people
also not to forget
become
the potential
suicidal,
drug
getting
abuse
into depression.
and you know going towards alcohol, drug abuse, things like that when you're in when we are in depression. So I think being a society, we are really mistreating our own people. Okay,
I
I would like
don't
to go
know
to.
about drug abuse per se because I have never seen anyone doing drugs because it is illegal and most people, yeah, I agree, they seek help of alcohol, but drugs is something extreme which I don't know if people really do.
Okay, but then it surely poses a great danger. Okay, on that note, I would like to go to Avijit, and may I request Avijit to please ask another question that he has to
Yeah.
Mayank.
I just also wanted to know that being in a committed relationship for uh, a gay person is not just committing to a partner. That is what I feel. I don't know how far I'm correct, but being in a committed relationship is not just being in a committed to a partner or a person. It's being committed to being gay, I guess. So, what if someday you feel attracted to some women and you want to explore the other side of the territory, say? So, has it happened to you anytime that you are attracted to another female or anything like
Okay,
that?
Mayank.
like I, like I mentioned in my story that I have tried exploring whether I am even a little straight, but it was never like that. I don't have any feelings towards
So,
women of that sort. Uh, personally, for me, it can never occur. Like I will think of about uh, exploring the other side. Uh, and regarding the thing which you said that being in a committed relationship, the person needs to be gay. I know few people who are bisexual and are committed to gay men.
Okay.
So
okay,
it's
okay.
not necessarily required for you to be gay if for being in relationship. It always is about love. It's not about your sexuality,
Okay.
about being committed to a relationship.
That's actually a very nice thing. You know, sexuality has nothing to do with the relationships. It has emotion attached to it. It has love attached to it. So you love your pet. You don't have sex with it, but you're so much emotionally attached to your pet. Okay. The problem is we are always trying to see love and sexuality together. That's a different issue. Very nice. Okay. Krishna, do we have more questions for Mayank?
No, I would like to ask, how important it is for you to get married to your partner.
Sorry, can you repeat your question? Your sound was
And
not so
also,
clear. Your voice.
I mean, how important it is for you to get married to your partner? Is it if you are just allowed to live together, or you actually want to get the equal legal rights also and want to go ahead and get married?
Okay. Mayank, so did you hear Krishna?
Somewhat, but I would like to get that question clarified again. Can you please repeat it?
Yeah, he asks that how necessary is it to get married, for you to get married, and explore the legality of the relationship in getting married, or are you even thinking of getting married?
As
Krishna,
of
did
now,
I
no,
translate? Did
and
I put that question correct? Krishna, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
So did that? Okay. So did you hear what I asked to Mayank? Fine. There is some problem in connectivity to Krishna. Mayank, if you heard my question, you can go ahead and answer it.
as of now, at this point of time, no, I don't want to get married ever. Not with a guy, not with a girl, nobody. Marriage is something which is not for me, is what I feel. Because I don't think you need to be bounded by some laws to keep you in a relationship. A relationship should be about love, not about legal foundations. But marriage, if I have to maybe do it for some legal benefits, I may do it, but it will be only on papers marriage. It won't be a real marriage from the heart. Like we say, marriage is made in heaven, but it will be only on papers, not really something which is which means anything for me.
So okay, so you say marriage is not so necessary when you find a partner whom you love, whom you want to share your life. You don't need somebody else to give a certificate to it. This is what you say there.
Except for legal reasons.
Except for legal reasons, yes. Another question that I want to ask you is, what about exploring possibilities of having a child? I mean, to adopt a child. In that case, you will have to marry. Are you in a relationship at the moment?
No, I'm single.
You're single. Okay. Have you had a relationship earlier?
Not really.
Okay.
I never had been into any relationship. I have fallen in love, but not really being in relationship. I've never been in relationship. I'm very single since
Has
forever.
this thought ever crossed your mind, like there can be possibility that you might be living alone for whole of your life? You know, has it ever crossed?
Yes, yes, and it
And
really makes me very sad, but I am coping with it. There are a lot of people who are living life of solitude. They are living life alone.
okay,
They are
Vijay, do you have more
restricting
questions
their life.
for Mank? Sorry, I stopped you in the middle. Mank, you can go ahead.
I was just telling about few people, my friends, few acquaintances who are gay and they are single. They are still living their life alone.
Okay, okay. Vijay, do you have any questions? Any more questions for Mank that you would like other people, other heterosexuals, to also know about it?
I don't have any questions as per se. I guess he has explained it in a very good way what he feels and what he has gone through.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Okay.
I just want to make a point to other heterosexuals that the homosexual section of the society is in no way different than us. They go through same changes, same feelings. There's nothing different. Just because they have a sexual orientation in which they like other men and girls maybe liking other girls, make them no different and no less than us. So it
That's
should
right.
stop discriminating between us and them. It should not be us and them. They are in no way different. And I guess people should understand this and move along with them.
Yes, this is something for others to take a point, take a note. Krishna, any final statements or any final questions that you would like to ask Mayank, which you think might be helpful for other people who are still not
No, I think I'm
aware
done.
of? Yes, go ahead.
No, I think I'm done with questions, but I would like, Mayank, tell us, what kind of changes that he would actually want to see in the society, and what kind of changes will make things favorable for homosexuals in the society.
Okay. So Mayank, what Krishna asks is, can you give us a take-home or a message to basically those heterosexuals who are still ignorant about it, who are still so insensitive about it? Can you tell us a bit about that?
For that, I would say the only way society can really be ideal when there is acceptance towards everything. Something which is not harming you, which is not hurting you. Why are you putting obligations on that? Uh, there are few points where we are lagging about uh, knowing the presence of an LGBT person. There are lots of us who doesn't know there can be a gay guy or anyone from LGBT community around them. Uh, Even parents ignore the fact that their kids can be gay, uh, which
Yes.
is the parents are actually the major uh, place where we are facing issues. Uh, but it is gonna take time, obviously. But for others, friends especially, we need to make the society more acceptable towards anyone from LGBT community. Then only life can be a little bit easier for us. Mocking people, not even knowing about them, ignoring their presence completely is something which is very hurtful and which even throws us in darkness. So
Mm-hmm.
I would just like to see people to be a little more welcoming and accepting, so
Okay.
that we don't at least have to live this life of dual behavior, life in dilemma,
Yeah, I get
and we
that.
can be what we are.
That's right. Okay. So I think this was what Mayank had to say about whole thing, and I think we get an idea what we have actually done to this community. We have allowed them to be live to live in isolation. We have pushed them so far, where to such extent that they are now criminals, and it's basically our responsibility to bring them back in our society, bring them into mainstream, because they're no different. Thank you very much for all the people joining on the panel. Thank you, Mayank, for being with us and sharing your thoughts. I think it was very necessary for you to talk about yourself, and I hope, really hope, that this helps other people understanding what a gay person is, what LGBT community is. Thank you, gentlemen, and you have a nice week ahead.
Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
especially
Thanks for
Mayank, thank
inviting
you very
me.
much for joining us.
Yeah, and all the viewers watching this video, please leave a comment. You can be critical about it. We need to improve. Your comments are necessary. Will be a guiding force for us. Thank you. So
Thank you.
we'll see you sometime later. Yeah. Bye bye.